Have you ever seen a cloud so fluffy? I don't know if I have. Golly gee, guys. Why don't you go ahead and tell me what you see in that cloud? I don't know. I see some interesting things. I see a couple things. What do you see? Just take a second. Really search. Search your feelings. Expand your mind to its outer reaches. What is this cloud? What is it? What is being drawn for us in the sky? I'm gonna tell you a couple things I see. Maybe, just maybe. Let's take a look. Maybe we got like a frog here. We got on the pen mode. Boop, there we go. Make sure I got pen selected. There we go. I think we got like a frog here. I think it's like a frog and like here's his mouth, like right here. And then you can kind of like see his chin come down, and then here's one of his feet. Maybe it's like a tadpole, and here's one of his feet, and then you got his arm here, and then there's his tail going out. He says, "Hey guys, what's going on?" Yeah, I think we definitely got a tadpole. Another good one we had in class today was this one. Check this out. I think this one's facing the other way. I think we have ourselves a jockey. There's this hunchback from hunching over, his arm coming down on the horse, and I think this is our horse's. It's one ugly horse, I will say that, but I think the horse, sometimes they take after the jockey. I've been told that before, and we got his leg coming down. Maybe it's a jockey riding a horse. I don't know. You know what it is, though? I can tell you what it does look like. It looks like a cloud to me. There, I did it. That's what it looks like. It looks like a cloud. Perhaps it's a cloud. Perhaps it's a jockey. I don't know. We have this randomness when we're looking at clouds. And it turns out there's a style of drawing that is famous for doing this as well. Sometimes if you are trying to draw something, you know in your head what it wants to look like, but you're limited by your drawing ability to make it look the way that you want. At least I am. Some people are really talented artists in my class. But it also goes in reverse. Concept sketching, the purpose of concept sketching is not to necessarily get an idea onto paper as much as get ideas from your paper. Let's take a look at this. This is a person's concept sketch. What are we looking at? We are looking at, some people say it's sailboats, pirate ships, and you have a bird flying in the foreground here, right up here. There's a different sailing ships. Some people said, hey, that looks like buildings or towers. Lots of things could be possible here. Why am I showing you this? It's because if I drew buildings or towers, you'd think of buildings or towers. Maybe these tiny little imperfections that are present in a drawing or that were present in a cloud are what give you the idea that you need. And sometimes it's the same thing with me. I like to play guitar. Sometimes the other day, I was just jamming and I just played this weird chord. And I was like, whoa, I don't even know what that chord is, but it sounds pretty cool, right? I thought it sounded pretty cool, and I was like, okay. I didn't go to like a music theory book and say, I'm looking for something that sounds, I want it to sound kind of like beautiful but mysterious. No, I didn't do that. Instead of going to a book or I just randomly stuck my fingers on the guitar or took a shape from a different part of the guitar and slid it up to the neck where it wasn't usually, and I found this amazing chord that I really love. And you can do that also, with music, with art, and with design. So maybe the thing that solves your problem can be solved by you just relaxing, making a mess on your paper, and maybe the solution will reveal itself to you. Maybe your brain will connect the dots. So Concept sketching is not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be something that is suggestive, okay? If it was perfect, you'd be thinking of that one thing. Since it's imperfect, the whole world is open for possibilities. There's a bunch of things that could come from that drawing. It's part of the design process. This is something that people do to try and figure out what they want things to look like, okay? I'm going to take a look at a really famous concept sketch here. This is the flying machine, maybe ornithopter. I think this was Da Vinci did this one. He's got some nice background shading going on to really make it pop out of the page. How long do you think this took Da Vinci to do this little drawing? Just this little drawing. And I don't think it took him very long. But how inspiring was this drawing? Now, was there a flying machine? Was there an airplane when this was drawn? Heck no, absolutely not. But do you think that some of the people that first invented flying machines previously, before their invention, maybe saw Da Vinci reaching out and really thinking about what was possible? Maybe it's possible. Maybe it's impossible. I don't know. But expanding their mind. And a lot of these lines, like, there's no real fine detail in some of these spots. He just has, like, some random lines. And maybe when someone else looks at this, they read those lines differently. And so, like, all the fine details aren't really there. The basic idea is there, the basic shape. Okay, so concept sketching is part of the design process. It's how you get your ideas on paper quickly, okay? It's meant to be fast. I bet he spent 5 minutes on this drawing, okay? It should be freehand. You shouldn't have any rulers or anything, and just make it quick. Focus on drawing, not erasing. You typically are doing things quickly, drawing, and it's not about getting a final product as much as it's the journey of your brain working through what you want your design to look like. And we'll see some examples of that. A good tip for doing this kind of drawing is if you grab the back of your pencil when you're drawing, you're going to have less accurate lines. It sounds crazy. I want you to draw less accurately, but it's the truth. This is not meant to be perfect. If you're doing like a drafting drawing for a floor layout, you definitely want your lines to be perfectly straight, and you want to use a ruler and compass and so on and so forth. That's not what this is. This is a concept sketch. It's allowed to be imperfect. So what if I asked you to draw something that keeps you out of the rain? This person has come up with multiple solutions. Notice that the detail in the drawing that they're doing is coming from, or it's centered around the object of interest, keeping us out of the rain. We know that this is a person, even though he has like a stick leg or like a half-complete foot. They're not worried about what the person looks like. They're worried about the solution. So you'll see techniques like that. Notice that when they're concept sketching a way to stay out of the rain, there are lots of different possible solutions that are present. This is an actual concept sketch from the artist that designed the Batmobile in the Christian Bale Batman trilogy. So this sketch is unreal, right? It's really cool, and what I love about this sketch is the artist has lines going all over the place, and then it's almost like where they liked lines being, they went, like right here on this tire, right? Where they liked the lines being, they went back and made more lines right there to make it look perfect. And they went down, I want the bottom of the vehicle to be right here, so they went back and made some more lines. It was very clear. But there are also like some kind of ones that are just kind of sticking out in random places, that like over here, and they didn't really go back and make those very bold, but here they heavily drew the edge of the vehicle, so on and so forth. Okay, really cool. Now this next one, I really love this picture. Man, it's fun to talk about. So take a look here. This is someone concept sketching out a boat. Looks like a yacht or some awesome ship that I'd like to live on. Now when you're looking at this, you can tell where they started. You can look at this and say, oh my gosh, I know exactly where they started drawing. I think it's pretty obvious, and I think it goes from, you know, where there's the least detail to the most detail. So like right here, it looks like they started trying to figure out what the general shape of the ship was going to be, and I would be willing to bet that this was their first drawing, and here's why. I think this was their first drawing, and they didn't like it because it looks like the shape of the ship is actually one of these two. It looks like it's one of these two shapes and not this shape. So I think they probably drew this and said, oh, you know what would be really cool? If I changed it in this way. So he took this shape that he liked, he tweaked it a little bit. I'd be willing to bet he maybe drew probably this one second and then that one third once he had he or she had a really good idea about what they wanted their ship to look like. Now from there, it's not necessarily clear where they move next, but maybe over into here would be my guess. Maybe they came over here and started designing a certain section of the ship and what they wanted to look like from the front, from the sides, from the back, and then started rotating the ship in their head and looking at a couple different other areas. And so this ship was kind of taken down and made more elaborate and then added more detail. And notice they're not drawing the entire ship each time. It's more so just trying to figure out what it looks like. And it's okay to draw things more than once. Maybe, you saw Da Vinci highlighted or shaded the ones he really liked or the ideas he really liked. Maybe when you're done, if you have multiple ideas on a page, you go back and you highlight the one that you do like, okay? Now, in class, if you missed it, we practiced. We did a 5-minute draw, and you were to draw a shoe that gives you superpowers. Okay, so this is my concept sketch. It wasn't really a shoe that gave me superpowers. It's kind of like a cool shoe invention that deposits seeds through the bottom of the shoe when you step. Okay, so basically, me concept sketching is me drawing it from a couple different angles. I came over here to show where the seeds are deposited. I drew a drawing down here that shows like a basic maybe mechanism that's going to be shooting the seeds into the ground. I have like some tracks right here of people walking, and those tracks turn into plants over time. Just an idea. I threw it out on paper. If you want to practice, try and do this. Relax your mind, make a mess. My drawings don't have to be pretty, but it was a way to let my mind relax and kind of get ideas on paper and just kind of think. Reach out, just draw as fast as you can think. Okay, now your assignment for this is on the website. Please read the rubric thoroughly. Basically, you need to have multiple drawings, and you're going to come up with your own invention. It could be something that it needs to be something that's new and exciting. It could be something that you're planning on submitting for the Arctic Innovation Competition, but it doesn't have to be real. It can be something, that's maybe not been invented yet, just like, the ornithopter drawing that we saw. Okay, reach out and try and design something that's really cool, and make sure you say what it is. So all the information is in the rubric on Google Classroom, so make sure you click that link and read how it will be graded. I don't remember off the top of my head, but give it a shot. And I suppose I could just maybe pull it up for you. Just pull it up so we can look at it. How about that? Let's take a look. Okay, here's the rubric. All right, you want multiple drawings on your page, okay, for points. You want your page to be full of ideas. This would be full points. This took 5 minutes, right? Not too crazy. Make sure you say what your invention does, give a little blurb, and maybe you have multiple different versions of the same basic idea, the same product. So multiple little iterations. And I know you probably couldn't see my drawing before. I'll hold it up closer. So here's my potato planting shoes. It's got kind of like a potato on the front of the shoe, It deposits through the bottom of the shoe. And anyways, just draw what you're thinking and any little ideas that you might want to record before you lose your idea. You want to put it down on paper. Okay, guys, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. You guys rock.